I'm Michael-Angello, and on the issue of free SHS, I think that policy is commendable. But when you listen to some of the inputs on interviews carried out by some TV stations on how some people feel about how things are going, you hear a lot of people say that things are not so great, but at least they have free SHS, and that's good. Now, when you look at the situation, do you not think that perhaps instead of making SHS entirely free, you could rather subsidize and redirect those funds so that they can afford things beyond SHS? Because people keep saying things are not so great, but at least there's free SHS. So what if they could afford policy education and then afford other things besides the free SHS?
No one should be prevented from going to school just because they can't pay for it. That is the president's thinking. And you see the effects of it when you travel outside Accra, in the villages, where in the north, where previously, when children are sacked from school because of school fees, or they are not able to continue their education after GHS, even having obtained very good grades, they follow their parents to the farms, to farm. The fathers usually would say that, well, come and work with me on the farm. But the mothers who really want their children to go to school will start crying or try to find a way where and sell their cloth or their inheritance that they got from somewhere, But now that is not happening anymore. Once you are done with JHS and you have the opportunity to go to the senior secondary school, all you need to do is buy your materials for senior secondary school, and then you go to school. It's such a transformational policy that anyone who says that you shouldn't spend so much money on it, or you shouldn't spend, the dividends from education is so high that it far exceeds whatever investment that you make into education.
With regards to the vice presidential candidate, a post which was released yesterday on Joy News stated that many people did not really concentrate on who the vice presidential candidate was in making their decision to vote for any of the candidates. And also an article which was written by pollster Ben Epstein says that the region that a vice presidential candidate is coming from does not really affect the votes coming from that region. So you saying that Nana Opoku-Agyeman coming from Central Region will bring votes? Don't you think that is not possible according to the polls and also experience from what we've had previously?
This is the first time that we're actually being represented by a woman. When you look at the demographic, the population density of the Central Region, we have more females represented than men. When you go to the fishing communities, mostly you find women. Even in agriculture, in the Central Region, it's also predominantly female-led. We have done our own poll, and those were some of the decisions, some of the factors that went into the decision to take a female running mate for the NDC. We already have an affirmative action already existing through the civil society organizations that are championing.
Not to cut you, but you're saying it is actually more gender factor than the vice presidential candidate factor.
It's a gender factor.
Okay, thank you.
It's alleged that most of the 1D, 1F projects that we all know about were already in existence before President Akufo-Addo stepped in, which some of us know that the 1D, 1F factories are supposed to be a startup from the NPP. So what do you have to say about that, please?
Okay. First of all, the 1D, 1F model, as we speak now, has already awarded contracts and started 232 projects. So there is nothing wrong with looking out for Ghanaian businesses that are struggling and supporting them to survive and employ young people of this country. Would you rather look for new people to do it all the time?
My name is Abna.
Yes.
My question is on issues concerning education. So in the first term of John Mahama, I'm a law student. I didn't see anything really important that the first John Mahama administration did. So with the People's Manifesto, as we say, what is the next John Mahama administration going to do differently concerning legal education when they come into power?
Well, with legal education, I'm surprised you say you didn't see anything really significant, because it's on record that President Mahama and the NDC, we expanded access to legal education. The fact that today you have 3 campuses of the Ghana Law School was a project that was undertaken under the John Dramani Mahama-led administration. And as we speak, President Mahama has promised that will expand access to legal education by 1, building a campus at the northern sector. So you have another Ghana Law School, differently from what we have. And we have also said that we'll pursue legal reforms, policy reforms, institutional reforms, which will allow for many more students to have access to legal education, because we have a track record of ever doing it. We expanded it. That is why today GIMPA runs a course, KNUST runs a course in addition to the main campus. So that is to our credit, that we are capable of doing that again. That is why we are not surprised that after we released the People's Manifesto, the Law Students Association did an assessment of the 2 manifestos where they juxtaposed our promises on legal education, and per their own conclusion, they said that the NDC's policies on legal reforms, legal education is what we need at this time to transform legal education. So I believe that you and your colleagues, other law students and other aspiring law students, would give their vote to John Mahama and the NDC, because we have what it takes to transform legal education.
Next.